Hello, my name is Wojciech Buras, and I'm the quality manager of PSI Poland.
And hello everyone, also from my side, I'm Bartosz Zbierajewski, and I'm responsible for R&D department at PSI Poland.
And today we will tell you about how visualization started to rescue us from a quite difficult position. So first, let me give you a few facts about who we are, because it's very important for the whole story. So PSI is basically a supplier of software for energy, for utilities, for industry, for logistics, for public transport. So we do zero consumer software. We only serve big companies, often state-owned or some huge corporations, and also our products are not usually visible even to their customers, just to their employees. We have around 40 software products, and they comprise of 30 million lines of code, and this does not include project-specific code. So you see kind of history. Let me give you two examples of projects we do. The first one was a depot management system in Poznań, so you know, steering how the trams are parked, what is their ordering on the tracks, and so on. And we've been a partner of a construction company, which kind of happens in our case. The original specification, so the tender specification, of course it was a tender, was 777 pages long, excluding change requests and all the other supporting documents. And the nice thing is that the whole project was divided into iterations. Yay. And one of the iterations was laying the actual cables and building all the stuff. Another project was an oil pipeline planning and metering system. This is located also in Poland. And we had 286 requirements in the tender specification. And yes, we had the privilege to use Jira in this project, but it was not that easy because we needed to prepare a formal procedure how Jira is used and for which every custom field may be utilized. So you see, this is the environment we are working in. To make it even stronger, I will give you some interesting quotes. First quote is, I have no value from a half-working power plant. Actually, how would it look like? So this is this construction-based mentality, so all or nothing approach. Yeah, makes our lives not easy. Second one, we know requirements. We've been doing this business for 30, you may say 100 even years in some cases. For example, the tram depot in Poznań is 130 years old. So we often meet people in our projects who have spent all their professional lives in these very, very specific areas of our economy. And I will never be a user of a pipeline planning system, so I will never be that competent in the area as they are. Third thing, change request. Oh, this is the favorite type of object which appears, especially in state-owned projects. And there is this nice group called the steering committee. And this is the only place where you can talk about changes. Of course, not all the times, but it happens. And the last one, reality of big companies. So I have €1 million for IT spending this year. What can I have for that? So this is how projects get born sometimes. Of course, this environment is difficult and it has its very negative sides when we are talking about software development. So we are trying constantly to streamline our software development process. And one of the ideas was to create a common platform for the products we are developing, and Bartek will tell you more about it.
Okay, so just to give you now the context, exact context of the example you would like to present you today. So basically, our company has a long story behind it. So it was established like in 1969, so way before I was born. And for historical reasons, the products which we developed in our company were simply developed in different technologies. With the time being, this brought various challenges to our company, and I think the most critical ones were somehow we found very challenging the integration between the products on multiple layers. It was very quite difficult to optimize the maintenance and development costs in our company, and also achieving kind, of synergy between the development done by various business units. And this is basically where PSI Java framework, so PJF, came to play. And the idea behind it was quite straightforward. So we wanted to release new generation of PSI products to the market, all of them based on one unified and common technology. And this new technology, of course, had some assumptions behind it. And the main assumptions were that, of course, it should support this integration, which we to some extent miss today. But also, we wanted to have reusable components which would allow us to address new market opportunities quickly. And this new technology was to be developed actually with involvement of all the business units. And that was a kind of new and also, I would say, unprecedented initiative in our company. And it required quite a new processes. So this is only outline of the processes which we created. But the most important aspects are that we established communities, gathering representatives and experiences of all the business units. The communities were responsible, for discussions about requirements and converting those requirements into some project proposals. We established then in the next step regular meetings of the managing directors where those proposals were evaluated from the strategical point of view and also from the commercial point of view, and accepted ones were given with the budget for implementation. In PSI Poland, PSI established R&D center where actually all the development of the framework was done, people exclusively working on the framework. And the development process itself was strictly connected with the work of the community. So community was involved in verification of the designs, community was involved in the verification of the development results, and also actually played a crucial role in the acceptance phase. In effect, it was a golden rule for the community process. So acceptance couldn't be granted if there is any bug reported by the community. So simply, as you see, top quality. So what we got today is basically process which from outside look quite good and quite promising, I must say. We have 7 communities and dozens of people involved in this process, over 60 components in the pipeline. We have some migration projects and customer projects which bring this new technology to the market, and we observed some problems with it.
Yeah, so seemingly perfect process, 0 defects, yeah, kind of. When a project came to an end, their projects, the migrating projects or the people who were intended to use our software, were started to filing bugs. But were these bugs or were these beachers or fogs, if you call them? So actually missing functionalities somebody has forgotten about in this long loop Bartek has shown on the slide before. We had also signals that our software is not being used. So wow, software has passed the acceptance test phase and it's gone to the shelf. And another example, the teams for the migrating projects were telling us, hey, we can't use it. You forgot about this and this and this and that. Yeah, you should have said it a year before. Hey, but we haven't started our migration yet at these days. But have it been problems or have it been de facto symptoms of something sitting much deeper below? And this is when Bartek came to me, the quality manager, and asked me, hey, maybe let's improve the quality of our software. But the biggest problem with software and with quality is that quality is so context specific. We have heard it, I think yesterday, there was a very good presentation about it, that quality of a car, for example, is something way different than the quality of software. And even in the software business, quality of an iPhone app is something way different than the quality of industrial software. So there was no single truth. We have done a few brainstorming sessions where we have been trying to embrace some quality metrics, but nothing actually worked. Mm-hmm. And there was this final brainstorming with me, Bartek, and another colleague, where we decided that we give up. So we cannot find any acceptable quality metric. So what can we do in this moment? We decided to not do nothing, not do anything, like not to change anything in the process in the first moment, but just make a simplistic visualization of what we have. On that time, we already had Jira Agile, and this is how something called PJF backlog came to life. Actually, it's a non-Kanban board, so it's not a Scrum, it's not a Kanban, it's just a simple visualization of the flow of the requirements through our process. We've been gradually adding these requirements and we gave them some structures. So we already took some precautions like adding owners, like adding a little bit of like a network structure to them, but it was more like internal stuff. And the only thing we wanted to see is how the requirements we get, not only our, but from other business units as well, how do they flow through this process? Where are the bottlenecks? What is happening in between? And Jira comes, of course, with a set of nice charts. And only looking at this chart, we've been able to start asking the really difficult questions. Because before, it was only, like kitchen talk or a little bit of intuition. And now we had kitchen talk plus data, so something more. So take a look at a few places on this graph. The first one, the orange area is in generally what people want from us. So it's just backlog. So here you may see that people have been adding way, way, way more than we are able to process. So we can start asking questions to ourselves. Is our product too small? Does it have the wrong scope? Excuse me. Do we have too few people? And time has passed, and there are still way, way too many requirements. Excuse me. So what are we doing? Maybe the measures we have undertaken are not successful. The green area is where we talk. So basically, we analyze the requirement, whether we understand it, whether the acceptance criteria from the customer is okay, and we cannot get into a compromise. So maybe we don't have the competence, maybe the customer does not know what he wants, or she. And my favorite is the purple area. So the purple area is the stuff where we both agree on the scope, we know what is to do, but we don't do it. So on the first day, there was the presentation about lead time, so talk about lead time here. And this allowed us, in the first moment, to see where the real problems are.
Okay, so that was actually only visualization, but really what we achieved with it was we were able to observe some trends and draw conclusions out of them. First, and I think the most important one, was that it became clear to us that the quality control on the communication, on the community level, is actually of secondary meaning. What really matters is whether the first project wanting to use our result is really able to provide any business value to customers of PSI. And that resulted with the first change in the process. This is what you can see on the right-hand side of you. So basically, we started to develop the framework projects always hand in hand with the development done for customers for the migrations. And I must say that application of agile rules for such collaborations between our development and the development done in the migration or the customer project was simply a natural consequence of this decision. And what it gave actually to us. So what we noticed up to now is, first of all, that we significantly limited the technological risks in the migration, the customer projects. It is very easily, measurable only when you see how many escalations to your CEO occurs in your company. And basically, in our case now, when we change to this model, it is zero, it is none. So basically, it is a measure of success. Another point was that we observed that less and less functionalities or requests for new functionalities were reported to our maintenance team as feature requests, as bugs. So that was quite interesting because before that we really had a situation that a lot of bugs could be simply classified as improvements or simply change requests. Also, we observed that our time to market is much shorter. Before it was like, over 1 year before some business unit got results of our development. Now it is a matter of several months, and it is there, it is ready to use. Also, it has side effects, so positive impact on the quality of the software which we provide. And interestingly, those changes in the development process also triggered further changes in the community process. So discussion about the requirements and the way how we work currently with the requirements. So first change was that we moved from the written word-based specifications to manageable items in the backlog. And also the granularity of discussions in community went to a little bit higher level. So the reason for that was just we wanted to leave fine details to be decided simply by implementation projects and prioritization done there together with the migration of the customer project. And moreover, we had even in the last time the situation that our management, seeing the data provided by us, also decided to optimize the decision process in PSI. So also they had their own perspective and they were able to draw own conclusion out of the data we provided. So the bottom line. The bottom line of our presentation is that, it is often said that you cannot optimize something what you cannot measure. And basically, in reality, you sometimes encounter a situation in which, defining how to measure something is much more complicated than later this optimization process itself. And that was actually our case. And what really worked for us was doing this simple step back and visualization of our everyday work. And this is basically the message we would like to leave you with. So visualize how you work and metrics and needed changes will follow. In case you have any questions to us, any details, please ask us, catch us at the Holy area and we will be there. Thank you.